Good morning. Hello there. Good morning, beautiful, sensitive, deep feeling people. How are you today? It is a pleasure to be here with you again. And we're getting into a topic that is so important, under discussed, and truly probably one of the things that we can do and make just a few simple tweaks in that will yield like immediate noticeable results. And that is food, diet, and the connection between what we are consuming and putting into our mouths and into our bodies and high sensitivity. So that's where we're headed today. I love this topic. And so before we go anywhere, I really invite you to just kind of like feel into that. So does your current way of consuming things leave you feeling energized, clear, blissful, empowered? Or does it leave you feeling perhaps more anxious, exhausted, a little out of sorts, little, foggy, not very clear, not very focused? Yeah. Maybe you also know the things that leave you feeling the ways I just named, right? Not really, I don't think many of us want to feel anxious, exhausted, and foggy. I know I don't. So if you don't, and you do, perhaps you've already noticed a connection and you notice the things that you consume that don't leave you feeling well. And maybe there's this like attachment and a perceived inability to like stop consuming those things, right? So you're just kind of noticing, you're just assessing where you are. So let's dive into this critical role that food plays for us highly sensitive individuals, especially plays a critical role for everyone. And when we're talking about specifically those of us in a highly sensitive system, it's even more impactful. So we're going to explore how certain foods may be affecting you, how to create a diet that fuels your body and calms your mind without overwhelming your senses, and really just walk away feeling a little bit clearer and empowered. So let's get into it. Let's go. I am Devin. For those of you that need a little refresher or a reminder, or if you are brand new, thank you so much for being here with me and for tuning in. I am an integrative health expert and teacher, an Ayurvedic health advisor, and a holistic life coach, and the creator of the InnerSpark method, where I specialize in working with folks to transform high sensitivity from a source of shame and frustration and overwhelm and health challenges into a superpower that can actually guide them towards a life of fulfillment and joy and vitality and purpose. So that is about me. You can learn more about that at the innersparkmethod.com. Food. All right, let's go. So, like I said, we started this by just kind of like assessing, right? Are there some foods that you know impact you, that you know will trigger anxiety, disrupt your sleep, leave you feeling bloated or sluggish, leave you feeling emotionally kind of like unstable, a little bit raw? And so for many sensitive folks, this can definitely be like caffeine. It can be processed and packaged foods. A lot of sugar, but especially like processed sugar, probably not going to notice the same impact eating, fruits that you would eating, just like refined processed sugar, even if it is those things that we all love these days, like coconut sugar, date sugar, etc. So being highly sensitive often means that our bodies react more intensely, not just to our environments, not just to activity or overstimulation of the senses, but also to what we consume. And I've talked about this before, and so we're not really going here today in this talk, but when I say consumption, it's important to remember that that is not just what we put into our mouths, even though that's what we're focusing on today. It's very important for us to mind what we're consuming through all of the senses, all of the senses. And when we are not tending this physical body, which is the container for our experiences in life, right? It is our suit, our home, our like vessel. It is in charge of all of it, right? Our experiences. And so when we're not tending this, this is getting very sensitive, more sensitive, the mind, more easily able to be overwhelmed, more easily able to be knocked off center, more easily like swayed and pulled by the whims of whatever it wants to come up with, more easily swayed and pulled by external situations. So then this kind of vicious cycle happens. We're like, oh, I'm not feeling well. I want to make a change. I want to change what I'm putting in here and pay more attention so that this can be a strong, resilient vessel for me to experience life through. But then this gets in the way because it's all extra sensitive because we're not minding what we're putting in here. So we can disrupt that cycle and things will start to turn around so quickly. It really is phenomenal and it does not take much. Doesn't take much. So like I said, some of us know the things that we're consuming that don't work for us. Some of us truly just may not know. We may be unaware. We may be disconnected and unable to really kind of discern, like, I know I feel this way. I know that I'm prone to, for example, anxiety or sleeplessness. And I'm just not sure what it is that I'm consuming that is leading to that, right? And then again, some of us do know, and there's this attachment and we feel unable to stop consuming those things. So I'm curious where you are on that spectrum, where you are when it comes to knowing or not knowing, feeling attached or able to like not consume those things that don't work for your sensitive system. Tell me where you are. So this sensitivity isn't just in your head, right? Like if you have ever taken anything away from me and any of this that I've ever shared with you, if you've ever worked with me one-on-one or been in my programs, you know that there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. High sensitivity is a thing. Your nervous system is different. It's wired differently. It impacts every aspect of you. I teach the 5 aspects in my program of body, emotions and energy, mind, nature and spirit, and your relationships and social roles. So high sensitivity touches all of these. And guess what? Your food choices do too, and can either fuel your day and fuel whatever it is that you most want to experience in life, or derail it, right? And because we feel things so deeply, when our diet isn't aligned with our sensitivity, it can lead to more of those mood swings. You ever had that? Just like, oh, it can almost be like dizzying. Like I'm good and now I'm not good. And it's just like I'm happy and then I'm crying. There can be increased sensitivity and even physical discomfort, right? So a lot of highly sensitive people I know deal with physical body issues, whether it is some type of chronic pain or fibromyalgia or some just systemic inflammation. A lot of us have different structural issues like scoliosis and maybe some hypermobility in the joints, right? What we put in here can really make an impact on that, right? Very, very much so. So what we choose to nourish our physical bodies with touches every aspect of our being. And so does high sensitivity. And so they go hand in hand. It's the quickest, most direct way to make some really profound changes in all 5 of those aspects: body, emotions and energy, mind, our sense of spirit and connection with nature, and our relationships and social roles. Just as you're more sensitive to the negative effects, you can also be more responsive to a more aligned, balanced, healthful, supportive nourishment or diet. I hate that word. Diet just means like what we are consuming, but it has been taken over by culture that I feel like every time it comes out of our mouths, we're just like, it has different meanings to different people. So I want to repeat that. And as I wrap this baby up, because I can keep going. I love this topic so much. So if you have questions, please share, because you'll get responses, long, big responses. I love this stuff. just as you're more sensitive to the negative effects of what you're consuming through all of your senses, but like I said, we're talking about food today, so what goes in our mouths, you're also more responsive when you make changes, when things are more balanced and aligned and for you. And when we start to look at the energetics of foods, and we let go of believing in all the things that come out of labs, right? The like, well, this study says this, and I need to get X amount of this and this many ounces of that and this many grams of that. You're not a robot. You're not a machine. You're a highly sensitive, intuitive person. And when you can put that focus back inward, you know exactly what you need, and you can really hear and feel. So this is where we can really turn to aligning with nature's wisdom, a lot of Ayurvedic practices, and so forth. So imagine starting your day with a meal that really fuels your body without overwhelming it, that honors how the start of the day is really building the fire. So not putting a bunch of, damp logs on there, but enough to get it going. And picture knowing exactly which foods support your unique sensitive system. Being able to let go of the things that you feel like you can't let go of, right? Caffeine, chocolate, refined sugar, packaged foods, these things that like we know have a direct negative impact on all beings, but especially highly sensitive ones. So this is more than possible and so worth it. And identifying these foods and creating this balance for yourself takes guidance and understanding. And this is exactly part of what we do in the InnerSpark method. We delve into the complexities of nutrition for highly sensitive people from an integrative health and Ayurvedic perspective, really looking at the energetics so that there's not this rigidity, but there is an understanding of, as a highly sensitive person, I tend to have qualities of lightness, coldness, mobility. And so choosing things that bring balance, choosing what will bring about greater emotional and physical well-being. So if you're tired of feeling like your high sensitivity is a problem and a burden, something to be ashamed of, something to spend so much time and energy trying to fix as you hide from life and try to figure it all out on your own, if you're tired of that nonsense, then I really invite you to explore a new approach to life and to eating, and to come join me in the InnerSpark method. And together we can really help you to discover a way of living in all aspects of your life, and especially of eating, that celebrate and support your highly sensitive nature, rather than work against it. So that's what I have for you today. Please share your thoughts and experiences with me about how food impacts your sense of high sensitivity. If there are certain things that you know are problematic, and if you feel an attachment towards those things, if it's hard to let them go, if you genuinely don't know what may be causing problems, and then if you have made some changes and what you've noticed. So just let's continue this really important conversation and continue to inspire each other. Okay, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Mwah.